baby.
I love that theme song.
I do too. Who wrote that?
I don't know. Some guy.
Some dude?
Some guy made it.
Did you go to Fiverr?
Yeah, I went to Fiverr. I went to Fiverr.
Fiverr.
I went to Fiverr. I had to pass something big.
You paid in Metamucil.
So I went to Fiverr. Yeah, I paid him in Metamucil. That's what that website's about. Welcome to Swish You Were Here, the inaugural episode of the year-long basketball podcast. We go all year. There's 365 days.
I don't plan to stop until the year is dead.
Do years die?
Well, what happens when a year is over? It's got to be gone.
That's fair. I'm Chris Hayden. Welcome to Swish You Were Here. I'm your co-host, and joining me, as always, but this is the first time.
As always, from now on.
That's fair.
And starting now is Adam Hayden.
That's right.
We are brothers.
No, we're not.
No.
Weirdly not related.
Weirdly, yeah. Just same names, similar beards and glasses.
Yeah. No, we are brothers. It is weird.
Can we rename this 8 Eyes and a Beard? 8 Eyes and 2 Beards.
8 Eyes and 2 Beards. No, I don't know if that's... I feel like that's just ripping off something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. No, we are brothers. And I'm wearing glasses for the first time ever, which is weird.
It is weird seeing you in glasses.
It's really strange. It's strange wearing them. Thank you. I still feel like I'm swimming all the time.
That'll pass.
Because it's like stairs are very difficult right
Dude,
now.
when you get to the point where you've been wearing them for a couple weeks and you start taking them off, you're going to feel like you're swimming again. It's going to be a whole nother now I really can't see.
It is strange.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about glasses.
No.
We're here to talk about basketball. Basically, we just wanted to talk basketball all year because basketball is my favorite sport.
It's my favorite sport, too, and I like a lot of sports.
Anyway, we just had the draft. You're probably hearing this late. We just had the draft, would have been night before last, just last night? Night before last.
Yeah, 2 nights ago.
And want to get into that a little bit, talk about, it was a weird night in draft land. And there's all kind of things going on. The thing about basketball is that it is a rather short off season.
It is such a short off season
because so much happens. It's not as short as soccer.
No, soccer is like 10 months out of the year, or 11, not including all the other tournaments you have to play in the summer. And with basketball, you get the finals happen. We got Game 7, so because of Game 7. The draft was only a week after the finals. And then 1 week later again, we get free agency.
I know.
That's so little time.
I'm not looking forward to it.
I know, but that's because we're Mavericks fans.
Yeah, we are pledging our allegiance. We are from Dallas, but the goal is to not be incredibly biased.
Yeah.
Because we do just basketball in general. I'll put on other basketball games. I'm not worried about
absolutely.
that. But just to let you know a little bit about us, I am a producer. I'm the producer at the Headgum Network for the West Coast.
I'm not.
Jake and Amir's Headgum Network, and Adam is not.
No, I'm out here, sort of new to Los Angeles, figuring out my way
Adam's
in this
been out
crazy
here.
world.
We're in Los Angeles. Adam's been out here about a year now.
Yeah,
actually over a year.
Yeah, just over.
Yeah, just over a year. So he's getting used to things out here on the West Coast, and a lot of basketball. You actually got to see the Mavs play Kobe in his final season.
Yeah, I got to see Kobe and Dirk's last actual matchup, which we didn't. I would have taken it in a little more. I feel it had anyone known that would be the last time.
Yeah,
but no one knew because Kobe had to sit when they came back to Staples and played again.
That was a good game, though, because Dirk had that shot from the corner that Kobe was like...
He was like, all right, nice shot.
Anyway, we had a big week in basketball, though. Game 7 of the NBA Finals, Cavs-Warriors.
And, shout out to the Warriors. Congratulations on 2 in a row.
Hold on. Wait. Adam, I have news.
Did something go wrong?
I have bad news. Did you?
They won so many games.
Did you not watch the... Did you watch the game, though?
I watched it on the radio.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't. I stared at a radio.
Do you mean fictitious commentary that someone put up?
Yeah,
where the Warriors won?
It was a podcast. By radio, I mean not radio. I mean podcast. Because everything's a podcast now. And by
podcast, you mean a thing that you plagued in your head?
Yeah, it was actually GarageBand, and I was just hitting keys at random.
Big congratulations to the Cavs. The Cavs.
Yeah, congratulations, Cavs.
They crushed it.
I feel for you. Until the Mavs won in 2011, not that I'm going to talk about Mavs forever, I grew up not really knowing much of sports happiness. So I feel for you guys. Because
I mean, you get that, but like, I tried to pull that card. I was on UTK's podcast, Let's Talk About Me, this week, talking about basketball. And if anybody heard it, you couldn't hear me because even though I'm a producer and do this for a living, I somehow missed my whole track was gone.
There.
I'm in there. You can hear me in the background.
But faintly.
Yeah. Well, I tried to pull that card of like, I get, because we had a guy on talking about Cleveland and like, oh, you don't understand. Like, I grew up in this and like we've never won anything and it's cool. Like, I tried to play that like, I get that because like the Mavs were the worst team of the 90s, the 80s they came close, but never really did anything.
And it fell apart.
And then they always came close and never won. They went in 2006, and the Ukarsh was just like, you don't get to say you have 4 champions, you have 5 championships for the Cowboys, 3 when you were a kid, and it's like, okay, that's fair, but
you
still,
remember those.
In basketball, I remember them as a little kid, because I was born in the 80s, but like basketball wise, we never got anything in Dallas, because we were so bad.
It was terrible, and the Rangers were terrible for the longest time.
And they're good now, but
they're good, but 2 lost the World Series.
Yeah, let's not get into that. This is a basketball podcast.
So my point on that is that I was born in 91, so I'm 25.
Gross.
Yep. So when I was a little kid and the Cowboys were winning their titles, I don't remember that at all. We moved back to Louisiana for part of when that was going on anyway, and then back to Texas. And then so like I remember the Quincy Carter era Cowboys. And I remember it was just all sports miserableness except for the Stars. But
fun fact, Quincy Carter had to retire because he kept choking on his giant tongue.
That's what happened to him.
100% true.
Canada has different rules about the tongue, so he played there for a little while.
That's true. They have weird tongue rules. Yeah. Anyway, big congratulations to Cleveland. They really deserved it. I mean, like, you watched Believe Land.
I did.
And I just can't bring myself to watch it because it just seems like despair and depression.
It is. I'll say it's an hour 17, and the last 17 are LeBron coming back and leaving.
It's an actual comedy of errors.
It is.
If Shakespeare was alive today, he would live in Cleveland.
God.
But LeBron killed it. Kyrie killed it. Kevin Love played some mad defense at the end of that game. He finally showed up.
Good for you, Kevin Love.
Yeah. Well, at least it's going to keep him from getting traded necessarily.
Or from, like, embarrassed on a high-five attempt.
We talked about that on the other show, too. And what I'm hearing is that was not... that he was not actually trying to give him a high five, but it looks like he was giving him a high five.
It totally does. It totally looks like he's trying to give him a high five.
It sums up those 2 guys' seasons, though.
It does. I'm not shocked if they trade him. I'm just not sure where they trade him to.
At this point?
And at this point, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the guy had to be, like, benched for Richard Jefferson.
I mean, that's fair.
In a stretch during
Shout out to RJ, though, because I'm so glad to see RJ get a ring.
I'm so happy for RJ. He's, like, literally one of the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And he sounds like Tim Duncan and Tiger Woods.
Even though I read that he said, like, when DeAndre Jordan reneged his thing about coming back to the Mavs, he was like, no, I'll kill myself if you don't let me go to Cleveland.
Let's ignore that.
Which is a little funny.
Yeah,
well... Not that
Cleveland,
mental health issues are funny.
Cleveland destroyed it. My thing is, I was kind of pulling for Golden State most of the way through because mostly not because I love Golden State, but like just because I wanted to, like, history was happening and I wanted to see history keep happening.
Me too, but there was going to be history either way.
Well, history did happen anyway. So.
Yeah, I found myself going back and forth. I was really not. But it's a weird watching a basketball game and not really having a dog in the hunt.
Yeah,
because I usually it's like, oh, that team's the Spurs or whoever, so I have a reason not to like.
Yeah, there was no one to really hate on for me this year.
Yeah, especially since LeBron's no longer in Miami and all of that. Like, good for you guys. I'm not worried about who my allegiances are going to be for, in the finals, as long as I see something good and as long as it's not the Spurs over and over and over and over.
Yeah. No one, and it's weird.
I don't hate them, though.
We'll avoid, I'm going to try my best to avoid on this podcast just deep diving into the Mavs, but
yeah, no
one understands, and if you want to get at us about this, if you feel this way, I'm just really interested to see. You can shoot us an email at SwishYouWerePod@gmail.com, or Adam is just vaping right into the microphone.
Sorry.
at SwishYouWerePod@gmail.com, or more importantly, follow us and hit us up on Twitter at SwishPod, and let us know, if you are not from Dallas, what are your feelings on the Spurs? Yeah. Because from living outside of Dallas for 6 years now, 6.5 years, people genuinely like the Spurs everywhere except for Houston and Dallas.
Yeah, and I get it. Popovich is a lovely man.
I know.
He's wonderful.
Not living in there.
Watching him is hilarious and great. And
not living in Dallas anymore, I've softened on Popovich.
Yeah.
But not the Spurs in general.
Same.
But it's that rivalry thing that people don't really get, because they are sort of a likable team, and the Mavs are genuinely a likable team. You usually have mixed feelings on Mark Cuban, depending on where you're coming from. But
yeah,
I'm really interested to see what other people think, because it is a fervent rivalry, and people tend to think, well, Texas, you got all those basketball championships. No, it's very segregated in terms of fandom. Nobody likes Houston. That's the one thing that San Antonio and Dallas have in common.
That's true.
Dallas hates San Antonio, and San Antonio doesn't like Dallas. And Houston, it is very fervent. It is a cut. It is a trifurcated triangle, if I can use a word that I don't think exists.
The Houston Rockets really make it easy for themselves to be unlikable.
Yeah, well, James Harden, Daryl Morey,
honestly, in James Harden's really good year, when he was runner-up MVP to Steph, he was still likable, and that team was still likable. It's his attitude that came with it, I feel, in a lot of ways. Like, in his off-season, he was really annoyed, and you saw him popping up on a bunch of tabloid things out at parties.
They lifted the little B curse.
They lifted the little B curse, but honestly, didn't he look like he gained some weight coming into this year? And
it's because Chloe was all upset about Lamar, and she left him.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into that, but it did feel like something happened in that summer where he didn't bring his A game.
It made them more unlikable, but I also think that you have other aspects, like Daryl Morey is such a tool. I mean, Daryl Morey is the worst.
We're not the only people who feel that way.
No,
but there's a lot of people who do like.
There are Houston people who hate Daryl Morey.
There are a lot of people who do like him and his analytics minded approach, but
he doesn't know how to evaluate talent. That is a problem.
I think that
he has no idea how to evaluate
talent evaluation. Partially, he has no idea how to put guys into a locker room together that aren't going to want to start a fist fight with one another.
Which is, I think, part of talent evaluating.
Yeah.
I think a big part of evaluating talent is managing personalities and understanding personalities and understanding chemistry, and he doesn't get that.
Chemistry, that's the big thing. And that's the thing that you risk when you run an analytics-based, roster approach, because then you put yourself in this situation where you start, really numbersing the players, and the players become the stats on the page and not the players themselves. And it's something that teams like Dallas and the Spurs don't put everything on, because they see what they can get out of a player, not what they were doing at the last place and what they can do at the other place. Because if you look, and not to make this all about the Mavs, but if you look at what Rick Carlisle does when he brings someone into the Mavericks, and this is how we made the playoffs last year with that weird, shaky team full of injuries, is he gets the absolute best out of these guys that he brings in, and he'll make you sit the bench until you learn.
But that's coaching too, and that's been an issue in Houston.
I know Daryl Morey is not a coach, but he can't get his coaching stuff.
I think he fancies himself as a coach.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of putting them in the.
But I mean, look at Oakland. Look at the Oakland A's in baseball. They essentially created analytics with the whole Moneyball thing. And when's the last time they won a title?
Yeah.
So I just think that there's a ebb and flow to using analytics, especially in basketball, because it is such a personality-based game. It is such a myopic game involving, singular feats.
What I will say...
one guy can take over in basketball.
Yeah.
It was proven this year. I mean, Kyrie killed it, but at the same time, you can have a couple of guys destroy in basketball and play well and do well.
You can, but the thing with Kyrie's game is that he killed it, but he is the guy where if they lose, it was because Kyrie played ISO ball the whole game and it didn't work out, or if they win, it's because Kyrie played ISO ball the whole game and he scored miraculously the whole game. Not like miraculously like he can't score, but like he puts up crazy shots and just catches fire.
Yeah.
And he's not a pass first guy, which is okay on a team with LeBron James because he's going to run the point. If you watch, he distributes it to LeBron at the top of the key to like...
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely Cleveland is, they have two plays, ISO for LeBron and ISO for Kyrie. And that's pretty much it.
J.R. Smith, flamethrower.
Well, J.R. Smith, they just put him in and just say go.
Flamethrower.
Yeah, he shot his shirt off in that final game.
He still hasn't
found it. Yeah, no, he just threw it into the rafters and it disappeared.
Oh my God! I hope when they drop the banner, his shirt falls out of it. It just unrolls.
They need to retire his. They need to retire his shirt.
Yes,
if they can find it. Anyway, that was what happened last season. I mean, it was really just pretty much the Warriors, and then they lost.
Yep.
It was a weird NBA season.
It was weird.
It was fun though. There's a lot of fun this season.
It was so much fun. Steph, I mean, people have said it everywhere. He disappeared.
Yep.
In the finals, and
babyface magician.
And I love Steph Curry. I think everyone does. Not everyone, but most people. It's really fun to watch a guy put up 400-plus three-pointers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he choked. I'm not sure he felt the pressure. Maybe he was slightly injured. And I don't think so. He was moving fine.
I'm campaigning hard for this new nickname, the Babyface Magician, and it's not catching on. It's because he can disappear. You get it? Because magicians do magic tricks, and they'll make things.
Did you rip this
disappear.
Off from Now You See Me Too?
Yes. It's my favorite movie of all time.
The movie where Lizzie Kaplan summons pigeons from a bra.
Mm-hmm. I taught her that trick.
That's all I've known from the commercials.
I have bras. I have pigeons in my shirt.
I need to go to your closet later and check out your pigeon collection.
A magician never reveals her secrets.
Okay.
Well, anyway, that was last season, and now we are, days later, moving on to season 2017.
Yeah.
16-17.
It's our year.
Yeah, it's everybody's year.
It's our year, Philly.
It's everybody's year.
Bold
it's
prediction?
our year, Philly.
Bold prediction.
Bold prediction right now. Way too early prediction.
All right, way too early prediction. Yeah, hit me with that. All right. Philadelphia. They're going to be killer with Ben Simmons. He's going to be so good, they're going to reverse their record. 72-10. I'm calling it now.
Nope.
Philadelphia 76ers. Unstoppable. You've got Ben Simmons. You've got Jahlil Okafor. They're going to start a fight, and they're going to start a fire in the hearts and souls of those young Philadelphia players. That's all I got for you.
That's it?
Yeah, I wish I could go further, but it's too absurd to really...
I dare you. We're going to Vegas for Summer League in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
I dare you to put down money on Philadelphia to win the title.
Oh, my God, I should do it. No,
because if something
it's throwing
happened,
money away.
But if something happened... And that turned around.
That's true. I could put down
$20.
Yeah.
Put down $20 on Philly to win the title.
That's it, guys. I'm going to do it. And Philly, if you let me down, you sons of bitches, I'm
$20.
I'm coming to Wawa, and I'm going to let you hear it.
What is the spread? What's the odds on? What are the Vegas odds on Philly to win the title this year?
I am not sure, but if you give me a second, I can search it.
Search it up.
I'm searching it up.
In the meantime, let's segue into draft talk. It was really sort of a uneventful draft on the whole.
It was. It was a very weird
I mean, there were
draft.
some weird trades, but at the same time, once you got out of the top 9, it was sort of everyone knew who was going in the top 9.
Yeah.
And then from there on in, it became kind of like a free-for-all.
Yes, it really did. I found that, Boston really, I don't want to be rude about it, but no one wanted to trade with them apparently, or they couldn't offload those 8 draft picks that they had like they wanted to.
I think there was a concerted effort between all the teams, not between them, but by all the other teams to not take about anything Boston was going to throw at them, because Boston spent the last 3 years screwing people over and taking all their picks.
I think that you may be right on that, at least in that there's enough teams that have the things that they want are the teams that don't want to deal with them. And the teams that they've already dealt with up to this point, they know
they're not going to be able to deal with them.
Yeah.
Because they took all their stuff. They are good moves, don't get me wrong. Everything that they did on their end is good moves, and I have no. I liked Boston, but I understand when you call up somebody and go, "Hey, do you want to trade for this pick that I stole from these guys 2 years ago?" They go, "Hold on a minute, you've fleeced the Nets, you made the Mavs bite. Like, do you think we're really going to make a trade with you right now?
Yeah,
like you live in it. Take
seriously."
Your picks.
Which it also makes me feel good that the Mavericks pick that they took at 16 was a stash player.
Yeah, 16, well, let me ask you this.
That's really early.
But here's something I don't understand. Was this a deep draft or was it not a deep draft? Because there are players that got taken late that seem like they're going to be pretty good players. Whether or not they do anything, we'll not know. There's no way to know if the number one pick does anything. But,
here's the thing that really, is bizarre to me, because everything I don't follow the NCAA not closely.
No.
I'll check out a thing here.
We
or there.
are not NBA college basketball experts. I look into who's going to be good at the end of the year, and that's about it.
Yeah, I didn't go to college. Me and those folks, we brawl in the streets. We don't see eye to eye. We have knife fights, and we
real sharks and jets.
We tumble. Real sharks and jets. They're like, look
real
at you,
San Jose Sharks and Winnipeg Jets.
Look at you. You're a street boy with all your street smarts.
Street boy. Street boy.
All right. I am street boy. Okay, so Gershon Yabusele. That's the guy they took at 16. And, okay, here's the thing that I was getting to before I got derailed with my weirdness.
Gina Gershon Yabusele, best tweet ever.
I love it. Someone retweet that. Someone do it. Chris tweeted it.
Keep going.
Okay. This draft is so full of power forwards, that apparently are useful, and the thing that people had happening was power forwards slipping out of the lottery because there's just so many of them and not enough teams in the lottery that needed power forwards. And they were kind of right. There were 4 power forwards and a center in the lottery.
Let's talk about this lottery for a second. Let's just run down this lottery. Okay.
Wait, before we get to that, I just want to say, because knowing that there were all these guys that were potential lottery power forwards, from the stuff that I read at least, it's so weird that they would take a stash guy at 16 after the lottery with only 4 or 3 power forwards off the board. Right?
Yeah.
I know they're not in desperate need at that position, so I get that, but, can't you move the pick for, something or another pick?
They couldn't move that pick for anything.
Yeah.
They tried.
Well, no, they tried, but, I think their sights were set too high, and they were going after really big names and trying to go, here's a bunch of picks.
I think people want Jay Crowder, and I don't think they want to turn him loose.
I think that's true.
I think that's exactly what happened.
They did draft Jaylen Brown 3rd overall, though. He's a small forward.
Uh-huh.
Isn't he like a 6'6" small forward?
But look at what they've done the last couple of years. Look at how they've played.
6'7".
And look at their roster. Look at their, for lack of a better term, look at their shifts.
Yeah.
Look at how they run basketball up there.
I mean, and Jay Crowder, as great as he is, and everyone pretty much at this point agrees that guy is awesome. And as great as he is, though, he's not a big stats guy.
No, he's not a star.
He's
not a linchpin of a team.
He's bringing a lot. In Iguodala was a all-star when he was with Philly. But he kind of brings a game like that where it's not all about, he's not going to be your guy you're leaning on the fourth quarter, the last play of the game.
No.
On offense.
But he can.
But he can on defense, too. And that was the problem with Iggy.
Boston has a lot of those guys, though. Boston's sort of made up of dudes who can be and can do, but don't all the time.
They're one of the most interesting rosters in the
I like
NBA.
them.
I like them too. I'm not a Celtics hater, but
here's the thing. Let's take a look at
struggled.
Let's take a look at the lottery
outside of Jaylen Brown.
First overall, we got Ben Simmons. Everyone knew that was happening. It was like the worst kept secret in sports.
You ever heard of him?
You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
You ever heard of it?
Yeah.
We got a little Brandon Ingram at 2.
Branny Ing.
Hitting up the lake joint, making Amir Blumenfeld all excited.
Ooh, yeah.
Brandon Ingram, there's never been a skinnier person since Manute Bol drafted in the NBA.
Right?
He looks like you could blow him over.
He's a noodle man.
He's a noodle man. He is the Slender Man.
He is the Slender Man. He's kind of one of those wacky waving inflatable tube mans.
Wacky wailing inflatable arm flailing tube man?
But thinner. He's like one that's like the size of like as thin as a stripper pole.
Brandon Stripper Pole Ingram.
Yes, they should really.
The Lakers don't need that at all. And if they do go to a strip club, keep them phones down.
Do you think they're keeping D'Angelo?
I don't know.
It's just derailing, but
I've heard D'Angelo is not a favorite in that locker room. We all know that.
No, I think it's a little blown out of proportion at this point.
I do too. I mean, he made a commercial about it. I think we've moved on.
Yeah. Also, it's Nick Young. He's not the guy who's going to change your franchise.
No, I don't. I think that if you put Nick Young and D'Angelo Russell into a fight for who do we keep, I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
D'Angelo stays. Jaylen Brown, like you said, Dragon Bender.
The Dragon Bender.
Dragon Bender. The Dragon Bender. I don't know about this pick. Fine.
You didn't watch a lot of Tel Aviv basketball?
He looks just like Matt Smith from Doctor Who.
He does. He's got a shot on him, too.
He does.
But honestly, every time they show you an international stretch four that can shoot, they always show you the same highlights of them hitting threes and stuff. Of course. And only every once in a while they are Dirk or Porzingis.
They're very rarely going to show you bad highlights.
But I'll say
that's the hard part about watching this draft coverage and not knowing a lot about these guys is like, man, everybody look real good in a highlight package.
Also, but Dragon Bender, the thing that gives me hope for a guy like that now is that I think that as the NBA becomes more and more global, as it has been doing for the last 20 some odd years, these guys are really that good, and they really do learn to dribble from a young age in the way that centers and fours here don't, and they learn to shoot in a way that centers and fours here don't, and that's why we're moving to the small ball NBA.
Yeah, well, this is the problem with.
I think centers are valuable.
It's the problem with USA basketball from a youth level, and it's what Kobe's had an issue with for so many years.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see how that turns out. Phoenix is going to be interesting to watch.
I agree with you.
Because what they've done here, though, is they've stocked up. They've got too many people playing the same position again.
Yes.
Now it's a forward problem.
Yes.
Because now who do they have? They have...
they drafted two.
They drafted two in the first round. Scalda Bizieri from Kentucky.
Wait, we're talking about Phoenix?
Yeah.
They drafted.
No, they traded him to to Sacramento.
At 8. They drafted Marquise Chris because they got that trade from
Marquise Chris.
The Sacramento because they did all kinds.
They
of
got Marquise
Chris
and Dragon Bender, which then they play the same position.
That's the pick that they traded that gave Sacramento the pick at 13, where they took Georgios Papagiannis, which. I think is what
Georgios. Wait, is it
Georgios?
Gorgeous? No, it's Gorgeous Papagiannis.
Oh, Pretty Papa John.
Yeah.
So
pretty Papa John.
Pretty Papa John. They drafted him, which prompted the amazing tweet from DeMarcus Cousins. Lord, give me the strength, because they took another center.
He's gone, right? Like he's so gone.
Oh my God! If he can figure out a way to get out of there, I'm a Boogie Cousins fan, and I know that's kind of strange. I enjoy him. He's an asshole, but it's really fun to watch. I don't think he's really an asshole. I think he needs the other team to not like him.
But you like a good asshole, though.
I love a nice asshole.
Something people need to... You love a good, perfect, just a good well-rounded asshole.
Yeah, well-rounded, taut asshole.
No,
and Boogie fits that mold
he does.
for me.
Okay. Let's just break this down really fast. Chris Dunn going to Minnesota, which almost got traded to Chicago.
My question to Chicago, and this concerns me a lot. If
they really want Jimmy Butler, like Tibbs wants Jimmy Butler bad.
Tibbs want Jimmy Butler bad. I heard him on Bill Simmons, I think, being like, "No, I want to stay in Chicago." Very clearly, and then Chicago almost lets him go. And from what I hear,
y'all got a no trade, dog. You can't do anything about it.
Chris Dunn and Zach LaVine, and they're great players, but look at Minnesota's record last year and think if Zach LaVine with Chris Dunn are going to improve the Bulls more than it's going to hurt them to get rid of Jimmy Butler.
I know. I agree with you.
I just don't think it would have helped them.
No.
Not for a while.
It's a terrible trade.
They're a
it's
franchise.
Great for Minnesota, but it's a terrible trade.
That's a real rebuild if they make that trade.
Well, it's why they didn't pull the trigger. I mean, at the end of the day, we had Bulls fans. I had a Bulls fan friend, Tim Baltz, texting him because I'm hearing like, oh, they're trading Jimmy Butler and Tim, and I start texting Tim. I guess he's not watching the draft, and he's losing his damn mind. And it's funny to read because he's going straight from like what the hell are they doing to like this is the way it is.
Yep.
Anyway, that didn't happen. So they got Chris Dunn. Buddy Hield at 6. I love the fact. I love this pick. I love this pick. Buddy Hield going to New Orleans. That is such a perfect fit for that team.
He's one of the few guys that I did end up watching this season. I watched some of him play, and I watched some of Ben Simmons play. And Buddy Hield is really fun to watch. I think if he gets the time to develop there, and I know he was like a senior at Oklahoma, so he's really had more time.
He's a 4-year guy
to brew, but if he clicks, that could be so good for them. What an interesting young athletic upgrade to Eric Gordon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not going to say he's an upgrade yet because Eric Gordon's still a good player. But,
well,
this is an
I
interesting
love that pick there.
Pick.
I think he's gonna. Let me ask you this: is he old? Hold on. Is Buddy Hield older than fucking? My brain is just destroyed. Power forward, New Orleans. What's wrong with me? Anthony Davis. Is he older than Anthony Davis?
No.
Because Anthony Davis is really young.
What is Anthony Davis? 24.
Maybe
23. He's 23, born in 93, and then Buddy Hield is 22, also born in 93. So they've got like
weird.
7 months apart.
And he's like a weird vet now.
Yeah. But, that happens a lot. We'll get to...
But I think that's a positive for Buddy Hield.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a positive for his coaches.
Yeah. I don't understand this logic of like a 4-year player means he's too old thing. Like, I don't get that.
I completely agree with
Like, the way that people play now, if you can get 7 years out of them, you're good.
Yes.
You're great.
Absolutely.
Anyway, after that, it just kind of a bunch of like, you got Jamal Murray, Marquise Chris.
Jamal Murray's interesting.
Jamal Murray going to Denver. Because what Denver needs is more guards. Marquise Chris thing, we talked about that. One of my favorite names in the draft, going to Toronto.
Say it once.
Dropping down in the 6th. Jakub Pertla.
Was that right?
Jakub Pertla, yeah.
It's Pertla?
It's Pertla. Poeltl. Pertla. You kind of swallow the last L.
Pertla.
But Utah went and got them. He's Austrian, correct?
I know very little about Jakub.
I can't remember. I just know that his name's great and he's going to the 6th.
I didn't even know how to say his name. He
Thon
went to New
Maker.
Mexico State.
No, he went to Utah. Jakub Pertla.
Oh, you're right. I'm looking at their 27 pick.
He's one of those weird beasts that was an international player and actually took a year in college.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
No, it's good. And he talks about how that made him, how it helped because he was able to play the American game. Thon Maker, one of the biggest controversies in the draft, going at 10. See, this is where things get strange.
This is odd.
All the way to 9, everybody kind of knew that's who was going in the top 9 for the most part. But this Thon Maker thing, from all accounts, really good player, a really interesting kid.
Yeah, he was born in Sudan.
Sounds like a good dude all around.
Yeah.
But they are trying to figure out how old he is.
Yeah.
Because he did 5 years of school.
So he was born in Sudan during the Civil War. And they escaped the country. Yes, 1865 during the Sudanese Civil War.
Of America.
The
war between the Sudanese.
Yes. The Sudanese were holding everybody as slaves. No, just entire countries. But no, they escaped to a war-torn home. I know it was. It sounded awful, and I apologize if it came out weird. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so they left. They made it to Perth. So he grew up there until
Australia.
There was a guy there, and I can't remember his name, but he noticed the potential in him. I want to say even playing soccer or something, and so he had helped other people before and got him to the U.S. Actually, he may have actually gone to Canada. He was in Canada. Yeah. So he went to Canada, finished high school, and then a year ago he plays another year
at the prep school,
which is weird. Well, he plays his normal amount of years, which is the weird part. One, and then they go, "Wait, but you played high school last year," and he goes, "No, last year was postgraduate because he got all of his credits out of the way the year before."
So he played a fifth year.
I'm not entirely sure that that's a thing. I've never heard of anyone do that ever with anything ever anywhere.
It's Canada. They put maple syrup on everything.
I liked high school so much. I'm going to go back for a postgraduate
You hated high school.
Just take art classes.
Oh, God.
I did hate high school.
Why would you go back to high school to take art classes? Like, go to
why would you go to college?
Like, they're better teachers.
Ooh, boy.
High school art classes is basically like Crayolas and a box of construction paper.
But okay, so he's claimed to be 19, but people think he could be like 22 or 23.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know either. He looks really young.
He looks really young to me.
And
I think he
it's
looks
gonna
19.
hurt him.
You know, like LeBron looked 30 when he was 19, but he also looked 19. Like, you can see it in his face.
I think that the Bucks took this chance on him because this is where he was like kind of intended to go until that stuff started happening. People saw him going to the second round, but I think they saw enough of the player they liked there that they went for him anyway. So I don't hate it.
I'm going to skip the 11th pick right now because I want to come back to it because that's a big deal.
It is.
12, Torian Prince, and then we got...
I've heard he can't shoot very well.
From Baylor.
I know very little.
Then gorgeous Papagiannis. Old pretty Papa Johns.
Pretty Papa Johns.
Going to Sacramento. Another great name, Denzel Valentine.
Beautiful
Going
name.
to the Bulls.
And then he's an exciting guy too.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that they got another shooting guard now.
I can't tell if this is a good draft or a deep draft or a shallow draft because there are so many pretty interesting people
for so long.
I know.
Summer League will tell us some, so we'll be reporting back on that.
Right.
Sorry, I got far from the mic.
And then here on in, it's just kind of like basically the 20 are the most interesting people, and then after that, it gets interesting. Malik Beasley, Gershon Yabusele, Malachi Richardson. I believe that's how you pronounce that.
That's a good one. I remember Karis LeVert at 20. I think that was a weird pick.
I think it's Malachi Richardson, right?
Try it one more time.
Malachi Richardson.
You're anti-Semitic.
Oh.
Okay.
Furkan Korkmaz is one of my other favorite names.
Furkan Korkmaz. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that name.
Korkmaz.
That is a beautiful name. And, of course, he went to Philly. Furkan Korkmaz.
And Juan Hernan Gomez.
That's a good one. Hernan Gomez is a really long name, and you'd expect a hyphen.
Yeah, not hyphenated.
I've heard that Karis LeVert at 20, from what I remember on the Twitter, is a weird pick.
On the Twitter? What are you, 40?
Yes, I was on the tweets. I was on the twitting. And, I heard he's a guy who wasn't really expected to go for a while. But I could totally be wrong on that, man. That's the problem with the draft. You go off of what some people say who, like, really knew the NCAA. Yeah. And even that doesn't mean anything about what you're going to do.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the second round is the second round for the most part. I mean, I know if we're getting back in the Mavs are one of those that seem to get what could turn into a steal in the second round in A.J. Hammonds. Just a low motor, super high talent, highly talented, super athletic guy, Shaq body. What did somebody say? Like, someone said Shaq body, Tom Brady brain. So, I mean... So,
he's interesting. What I'm looking at here, which I didn't know this was a thing, if you go to NBA.com/draft/2016/draftboard.html,
not necessary,
or you just go search for NBA Draft Board, and you look at each pick round by round, there's a fan sentiment on the side.
I'm looking at that
lets you know. And AJ Hammonds is full bar. Fan sentiment
because the Mavs had one pick.
It's same with Ben Bentel though, and I think that pick might be just because the name is so great. Also,
Ben Bentel.
How many power forwards do they have in Boston now?
A lot of forwards.
A lot.
They drafted another small forward. A small forward at 35.
Threes and fours. They have so many threes and fours, and I heard a lot of people like talking about how they need. They need forwards and they don't need guards.
Well, all that matters is that Houston got another Chinese center because they needed one because they can't win without Yao Ming, and they had to get another Chinese center, so they went and got Zhao Shi, center from the Xinjiang Flying Tigers. Ni hao.
Wait, who are you? Zhao. Okay, I see.
Zhao Zi. Zhao Zi. Zid.
You know,
however you say that, Key from the Xinjiang Flying Tigers.
right before that, I was looking at the center. They took a center right before
shout.
that, a few picks ahead. Chinanu Onuaku. And so I was like, is this guy Chinese? No, he's definitely not Chinese.
No.
So I was like really confused. So I thought you were being racist when you said the name and you were just trying something.
No.
Because I thought we were talking about that guy.
No.
Okay.
I do like...
we call each other out for racism
I do
all the
like
time,
the
even though we're
Utah's
not
number
racist.
52 pick. Because it sounds like something that a Jamaican rapper would say.
Balloon boy.
It sounds like something you'd hear in a Rihanna song.
Yo,
I know she's
balloon
not
boy.
Jamaican. Anyway,
I
getting
like
off of the race page.
Yep.
Is
that on NBA? The race page?
It's right next to...
Or is that on like a basketball reference?
A basketball reference.
Okay.
Yeah. They have a whole racially charged page.
Yeah.
Where it's just puns, really racist puns on people's names. And Shaq going, Ni hao!
Ni hao?
Okay, so what I really want to talk about is the big trade of the... Well, there's a couple trades that went down that were interesting. Of course, before the draft, Derrick Rose going to the Knicks.
Okay.
Playing in the Garden.
I wanted to talk
which
to you
I
about
do
this.
like that trade.
I like that trade a lot. It gets Derrick out of Chicago.
Yeah.
They were just... It was time to part ways. Everyone kind of felt that way. They don't have to deal with his contract next year.
That's a big
Isn't
deal.
next year his contract is up?
Yeah, he has another year.
So that really, like, they don't get themselves.
He has a
in
year and he
situation
can
where
opt out.
put them
So technically he
like,
has two, I
hostage
think.
to get him back. But so here's what's really interesting. So they're going for center now. I've read that they're going for Kevin Durant. I've also read they're not going for Kevin Durant. To me, he doesn't make a lot of sense on that team, and I've read that Kevin Durant is not really interested in that team.
No, Kevin Durant's staying in Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
I think he
agree.
stays.
He either stays or he goes Golden State, San Antonio. But I think he stays because of the trade they made, which we'll get to that trade too. But here's my question to you. Actually, this actually has to do with both of these trades.
Okay, well, let's break that other trade. The other the biggest trade, the biggest head scratcher. Like when it went down, we were like, what is going on?
Floored. If you're a fan of the Western Conference, you were floored because it just gets harder and harder.
Well, so what we're talking about is the 11th pick of the first round. Orlando takes Domantas Sabonis, son of how do you say his dad's name?
I say Ardonis.
Arvanis. I don't remember. My brain's broken. I couldn't think of Anthony Davis's name earlier.
It's Adonis Sabonis.
Ardonis.
Oh no.
Are we both completely off?
Arvidas.
That's
Sorry.
right.
Arvidas.
Yeah, they take Orlando takes him at 11, and then immediately because this trade happened after the pick. At least it was reported after the pick.
Reported after.
So Orlando takes him, and then they turn around and they trade him, Victor Oladipo, Ersan Ilyasova
in a second round.
and a second round pick to Oklahoma
next year.
City for Serge Ibaka.
Serge is going to get an all-star nod this year.
That's pretty much
He's been
it.
used wrong. He's
Yeah,
been
he's gonna
used
get
wrong
the,
by
like-
his team. He can contribute a lot more than he has.
Right?
Victor Oladipo, we don't know where the ceiling is, but he's still young.
He's going to
and
get
a
that
good
Paul
shooter.
Millsap all-star spot.
Here's the thing. People were keying in real hard on Victor Oladipo because who's their offensive threat on the Orlando Magic?
Well, it's because Victor Oladipo is not a shooting guard. I think they
He
really...
is.
I do, but he
But
is,
he's
but
got
he's
some
a
shot.
slasher, though.
Yeah,
like Victor
but
Oladipo
his three's
plays...
not bad.
His three's not bad, but he
some work.
still plays... He is a dunking two-guard. Like, he will cut before he will step back. And I think that they drafted... I think they want to give a year to Mario Hezonja.
And Evan Fournier. I
Evan
can see
Fournier-
him getting that job too.
Yeah, but I
because he
think
does
they
hit
want...
threes.
I think they want Hezonja to compete for that job.
I think so too.
And I think that one of the problems is that Oladipo can't play with
Peyton.
With Peyton.
Yeah, you need more.
Because
you need
neither one
more
of
a
them
shooting
really can
point
shoot.
guard, but you know,
Because
he's
Elfrid
walking into a
Payton
situation
is
where
not
he
a
doesn't have
shooter.
a shooting point guard with Russell Westbrook. He
Right.
is, but he's like more of a mid-range than hit that three ball. He'll launch him though from the three.
Well, that's the thing.
He's
is
a
that,
dunker.
Like Elfrid Payton is a distributing point guard, and defensive point guard.
He is.
And he's going to a situation now in Oklahoma City where they're just going to destroy you with offense and destroy you with offense. Like, they're going to try and they're doing Golden State things now.
Here's my question to you, and I was thinking about this earlier today, and I wanted to pose it to you. Who's going to be a better team? Okay, let me put a little more on this. Say,
put a little mustard on that hot dog.
The Knicks shore up their center. They get Dwight Howard.
Okay.
And then we say Orlando maxes out Chandler Parsons, signs him at the 3, and they actually get Al Horford too.
Okay.
Which I know they want Al Horford really bad. They want all these Florida Gators guys. That's my question too. They have Vooch.
What do they do with Vooch?
They can't run one of them at the 4 because they have Serge now. And I think they want Horford because he's a small ball center, and I think they would not start Vooch, I guess. But Vooch is good. That's why I'm so confused they want Al Horford so bad.
Do this for me. Here's what I want to know. Give me, run down some of Serge Ibaka's stats and tell me if he's worth this trade.
Okay. I can compare him to Oladipo for you.
I want that to
Do you
happen.
want career stats? You want last year?
Give me career stats.
Okay. So, career stats for Ibaka, he's played 524 games, averaging 28.8 minutes per game. Honestly, though, in recent years, it's more like 32.
Right.
Which is much better out of a starter. 11.6 points per game, which was up last season.
Yeah.
But that's 52.3% shooting, which is great. Averaging 2.5 blocks per game, which has been down for him.
Right.
But I think he can do that again with Orlando, which I'm really interested to see because he was really good at blocking a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, Serge Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka.
Alley-oop,
alley-oop. Put it in the basket. Put it in the basket. Good for 2.
Hey.
Good for 2.
Hey. So I think that what happened is that what's going on with the Oladipo stats though?
Okay, Oladipo. So
goodbye DJ Augustine.
Games played for career matters not for him. He's much younger. He's like 24. So he's played 33. He's averaged 33 minutes a game. At 16 points per game. It's 15.9. But he's 16 last year, so we'll say 16 points per game on 43% shooting, which is good for a guard. It's not bad at all. 4 assists, especially if he's not going to have to lead your team. 4.4 rebounds, which is actually a lot of rebounding for your 2. That kind of helps them out. And because their other 2s weren't really cutting it in that way. And 1.6 steals per game, which is not bad either.
So, but here's the thing.
A lot of defense.
Okay, so if you take that trade straight up,
yes.
Do you take that trade?
If I'm who?
If you're either team, do you go Serge for Victor Oladipo straight up?
Okay, straight up, that is not a bad trade. Unless they whiff this offseason. I'm not entirely sure. He's the guy I would have been building more around for them, rather than dealing. But what are you going to do?
So, okay, that makes sense. But then you add in Ersan Ilyasova.
Ibaka's going to be an all-star in the East.
Of course he is, but it's the East.
Yeah.
There's a couple of good teams, and then that's about it.
Yep.
But my problem is this. You can throw out Ersan Ilyasova because he's a salary dump. All they did was do that to make the money work.
But he does add offense to that team if they keep him.
Sure, and they probably hold on to that spot, or at least he goes to training camp. But what I don't understand is why do you throw in this number 11 pick, who's a good prospect by all accounts?
That's the part that
to get another
really
power
hurts
forward.
me.
I mean, I understand that they're trying to fill the Ibaka spot with another power forward right there. Because what they're going to end up doing is playing a lot of Steven Adams and Cantor at that 4-5.
See, I thought about that too, and I think that might be in their plans, but they've got to sign more
it worked
centers
last
or
year.
4s if they do it. No, last year they did a lot of Enos at 6-man.
Yeah,
and
but
they would have him come out
in the playoffs, they played them on the same run a lot.
Because
that thing where Kevin Durant and Russ can't play aren't as effective together as they are separately.
It's because of that they use. So they have two pretty
which I maintain,
caliber
and everybody
centers.
and other people seem to think that I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy, right? Russ and KD are way more effective when they're not necessarily playing a whole game together.
Well, they're staggering. That's
right.
The theory that came up online that Billy Donovan borrowed. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. No offense, meant to Billy Donovan. Work with what you got. But the staggering works well because you always have an all-star on the court, if you look at it that way. And these are guys who need the ball in their hand. So it works well from that. And then when you get Steven Adams and Enes Kanter in, you get into this point where there's large stretches of the game where you have one starting caliber center and a star, take him out for another starting caliber center and a star. But you're getting different things. So, like, Enes is really offensive. He can really score and shoot inside. Almost kind of got a mid-range game, but he doesn't rim protect like Steven Adams can.
Right. But what do you do off the bench?
Off the bench, if you start them together, then I don't know. But I don't think they'll start them together.
So I don't know what's going on.
I think they're going to try and sign someone.
Well, see, they're also getting this rookie kid that I think is going to probably. I don't know. I don't know if he's a help out right away type of guy, but I think like mid-season, I think you're going to see a lot of that guy.
What if their plan is to start Ilyasova?
No,
because then they get then they get like more of a small ball.
If your plan is to start Ilyasova at the 4, then KD's gone.
Well, it gives you more offense. They need shooters, right?
Yeah.
He's a shooter.
That's true. He's
and they have centers that can protect the rim so that they can allow for a shooter in the 4. So maybe they're going for something like that. I'm not saying that they're going to start him because it's still kind of far-fetched. I have no idea what their plans are, but that's a possibility.
I don't know. It makes sense. I mean, like, I see what you're saying. I just feel like it was like Orlando got fleeced in this scenario. But I don't know if they're doing it on purpose.
I don't know that they entirely got fleeced. Because
we will know this
if
in
their
a week.
off-season, yeah, that's true. If their off-season plans work out for them, I'm not sure they got fleeced because they may have gotten exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
And so from that standpoint, this is interesting. From the standpoint of being a fan of a team in the Western Conference that isn't the Oklahoma City Thunder, this trade is incredibly frustrating.
Of course it is.
It makes them a lot better. I think people don't value. So there's a lot of people that don't value Oladipo as high, and they don't see him as much of a scorer. And
I think he is. I think he's a nasty offensive threat. I think that his cut to the basket moves are ridiculous.
Yeah,
and they're hard to stop.
And he's like 23, 24.
Yeah, and he's a really young guy, and I think he's got time to develop his shot. His 3 points from the corner is a really good stroke, but he's got to develop his stroke a little better, and I think he'll be able to do that if he's able to play with KD and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has a good stroke. It's just he doesn't have a consistent stroke. He gets real hot, and then he can drive and do anything on you.
He's
but
a triple-double
KD is so nasty. I just feel like if you can put KD in practice with Victor Oladipo for a little while, because honestly, they're very similar body types. Like they have very similar skill sets in terms of the way they move.
Yeah.
Not as much. I mean, like of course, Kevin Durant's a very different position player, and their games are very different. But look at their body type. Look at the way they look at their balance types. Look at the way that their footwork is sort of similar. Their handling is sort of similar.
He is very prototypical too in size. He's a real shooting guard in size. He's right
but he's
there.
Got length.
But he's right there in between KD and
he's like a short. He's got a short KD frame.
He does, but he doesn't have quite the length KD does.
No. Of course not.
KD's like a spider arms.
Yeah,
they're long. But what was I going to say? Oh, interesting. Who do you think is going to be better this year, Knicks or Orlando? Who's going to have the better season?
I think the Knicks are going to have a better season, unless Orlando goes out and does something crazy in free agency. But I don't know. It's the Knicks. It could all fall apart.
Last year, Orlando was 35-47.
Yeah, and don't look past coaching at this point.
Yeah,
because look at what's going on in New York.
Wait, who's Orlando's coach right now? After Skiles left.
Indiana.
That's Jones? That Indy's the dog's name.
No, the Pacers coach.
They got Vogel?
Yeah, Frank Vogel.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's interesting. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
That's one of those situations where Larry Bird had to make a decision to change things, and it wasn't that Vogel wasn't equipped.
No. But, look at what...
He had a long stretch, and it's one of those things where, like, your players might give up on you if they see the same thing for long enough without change. I mean, look at Avery Johnson.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You mean analyst Avery Johnson?
Yep. Lil Wayne impersonator Avery Johnson.
Lil Wayne impersonator. Yeah, so Frank Vogel's going to be in Orlando, and then Hornacek's going to be in New York.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to me. Because, I think Rose fits into that style of play. Mm-hmm. Here's the other thing I didn't mention with Rose. The one concern with Rose outside of the thing that is glaring is the injury concern.
Yeah, the 3 surgeries.
And the Knicks fans, on the whole, seem to think that they're getting MVP Rose. That's what the internet sounds like right now. And you're not getting MVP Rose. You're getting damaged, hasn't played a full season in a while at a full strength Rose.
Yes.
So I wonder how that's gonna work out.
He's gonna be a facilitator. He's still gonna be able to drive here and there. His cutting's gonna be, you gotta be careful. I worry when I watch him.
I think that he works in a Hornacek system, though. If they play like those Suns teams.
And here's the thing. I get when you guys are like, it's Derrick fucking Rose. He's in his mid-20s still.
Yeah.
I get it feels like it could be the Derrick Rose of a few years ago.
But he's got Greg Oden knees.
But that's the problem. I'm really worried because I get those butterflies in my stomach too. I hear Derrick Rose's name, I think the great Derrick Rose.
We all do.
Ooh, but I'm not so sure. I don't think it's what you're going to get. But I don't like Darren Williams leaving the Nets, though. You're not going to get a bad point guard.
No,
you're
not at all.
You're going to get a facilitating, smart veteran
He
point
can
guard.
still cut, but it's just not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
He's not going to go up and do Jordan things like he used to do.
No.
Which he's not.
Could.
He's not even John Wall. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. John Wall is so fast, though.
He is, but I don't know. The Wizards are a whole nother mess. I've heard people say that they're going to give Noah a max deal.
I've heard actually recently that they're not planning on giving him a max deal, but they are leading the hunt for Noah, which I know Orlando wanted Joakim Noah, Al Horford, and Chandler Parsons. What are they going to do with Vucevic? You get Al Horford and Joakim Noah.
Send him to Dallas.
And Ibaka.
I'll take Vooch.
I'll take him too. You guys like second rounders?
Yeah, we got a lot of second round picks, baby. Mark Cuban loves it in number 2. Yeah, that was the one. And then the other trade that was interesting was the Pacers deal with the Hawks. Well, it was a 3-team deal. It was the Pacers, the Hawks, and...
Utah, maybe?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Examine it. Okay, so the Pacers get Jeff Teague, which is really interesting.
It's super interesting
because that gives them who's their starting 5 right now. So we got Jeff Teague, Monte
Money Ellis,
too much Monte, Teague, Ellis. Then do we have Small George or do we have Paul George again?
Small George.
So
he's not playing 4.
Small George at the 3, and then. We got Jan Mahimi still sitting at center. He's a free agent.
Ooh, I'm not sure if it's Jan or if
Jan's
Miles
a free
Turner
agent.
is the guy they want to go with.
Jan's a free agent.
I'm unsure. Jan is a free agent. He's not anything great. He's a solid center.
Good backup center.
He's a good backup center.
World champion, 2011 world champion.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
His fashion game.
Single-handedly
his fashion game is on
beat
point.
LeBron James and Chris Bosh.
That's right. It was all Jan Mahimi.
He won Finals MVP.
It was all Jan Mahimi.
It was the Jazz,
and Brendan Haywood.
The Jazz. George Hill.
And George Hill
is going to the Jazz,
Utah.
And then the number 12 pick went to Atlanta, and then Jeff Teague to the Pacers. Which is really interesting. Jeff Teague is obviously the best player in that, but George Hill.
Wait. The number 12 pick went to Atlanta?
Yeah, which they might have traded.
Because right now the number 12 pick still says it went to Utah.
It did. Maybe they traded it for that 9 pick pre-draft or something. Wait, okay. So how did this happen? It was the number 12 as well as the number 21st overall pick.
I'm seeing the number 21st pick went to Atlanta for sure.
Yeah.
Because they took DeAndre Bembry.
Maybe that was an early report and they didn't trade that. Or maybe Utah.
Because it's saying that Utah has Taurean Prince.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just say they got 21. Because this ESPN article could be like.
But
outdated.
That's weird though. Trading him just basically for the 21st pick.
The problem for Atlanta, what they were trying to do was clear cap so they can keep Al Horford and Kent Bazemore.
Right.
But even that is going to be hard.
All the reports are that Bazemore wants to stay.
Really?
And what I've heard is
I was
Bazemore
thinking
wants to
he
stay.
might end up in Dallas when.
And I've heard that Horford wants to stay
because Dallas is going to attempt to pull off Mike Conley
and then try and go get
Whiteside.
Kent Bazemore on a cheaper deal.
He's a guy who's been linked to Dallas off and on forever because he makes
like
so
Bazemore.
much sense as a Dallas guy.
I like the Baze Gaze.
I like the Baze Gays too.
He looks just like Chance the Rapper.
Hey guys, if you see any Baze Gays on the street, you say what's up. It's Pride Month.
Oh no! Oh, is that his gay fan club?
Yes,
the Baze Gays. I love
them.
I love this.
I love those guys.
We need to start this. We need to make sure this starts happening.
I don't think we can really
well, we're not gay.
We can't start it, but we can encourage it.
Come on, guys! Our gay friends and be like, "Hey, start a Kent Bazemore fan club called the Baze Gays."
You know, my gay friends just don't care about Kent Bazemore. It's really the problem here.
Oh God!
But I'll talk them into it.
Baze Gays. I want this to happen. Internet, make it a thing.
Don't make a shirt though, unless you intend to actually be on it, because you might end up being insensitive.
What?
I don't trust people.
When
people
shirt.
Make shirts. No.
I would wear that shirt in West Hollywood.
Actually, I would too. But I'm just saying, run it by us before you make the shirt. This is what I want to see because I worry. People are very offensive on the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't been on there recently. It's not a hunky-dory place of just happy white people.
People on the internet, some people, also known as Twitter, you can go on and type into Twitter, take me to Google, and it'll take you there.
Okay.
So
you go. I want to go to Twitter.
You want to go to Twitter,
and then
go to Google, type in Twitter, and then
Google
when you're in
Twitter,
Twitter, you can Google that.
But hold on. Explain internet to me.
Okay, so Baze Gays.
Right.
There's T-shirts now.
Okay.
Internet.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think we've solved world hunger.
We did. Anyway, I think that's as good a place to end as to start wrapping this thing up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we are going to do another one what do we got coming up? We got a whole bunch of basketball stuff coming up before it gets
free agency started.
Before it gets weird and dark for a couple of weeks.
We got Summer League.
Yes.
We're going to Summer League. We're going to go look at some of the Vegas in the first couple days.
That's right. We're going to
report back to you.
We are. We're going to talk free agency coming up next week because I'm excited about free agency. I'm nervous about free agency and excited. As a Mavs fan, I'm very nervous about free agency because that's what we have to be. Is always nervous because nothing is in stone.
This is a rare free agency where it's not rare, but there's a lot of teams worried right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams who are not going to be able to re-sign the guy that they want. It's gonna be interesting when there's going to be an odd man out or two, who those guys end up being.
Yeah, or seven. It's going to be weird. There's going to be. Well, see, this free agency, and we'll talk about it more next week. This free agency actually is really deep on mid-level guys. Because I think that people are going to overpay for a lot of guys this year.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a lot of steals in the mid-level, and we're going to have to talk about that when free agency opens on the 31st. We're going to know a lot. We're going to know nothing for 2 days, and then we're going to know a lot.
We might know something on day one, and then they renege, and then your team is screwed.
Bold prediction?
Bold prediction.
Everybody's meetings are going to go very well.
And DeMar DeRozan re-signs with the Raptors.
100%.
Yeah.
But everyone's meetings always go well. There's no one that, except for last year when DeAndre left the meeting with the Lakers.
I heard DeMar DeRozan doesn't actually plan to meet with anyone else.
He's just going to re-sign?
Yeah. That seems to be the plan.
We'll see if that happens.
Which is cool.
And then after that, we're going to do Summer League, and Summer League is exciting because we're going to Summer League this year. We're going to be there for a couple of days. First time. I was going to go last year, but we're going to go and watch at least 2 days.
And no promises because who the hell knows what we're going to walk into, but we might try and
get
some interviews.
Yeah. We're going to try and get some people to talk to Swish You Were Here.
And we Swish You Was.
We do Swish You Was.
And I pray that you was.
Okay. go ahead and please follow us on on Twitter at SwishPod. Shoot us an email at SwishYouWerePod@gmail.com. You can follow me personally at I am Chris Hayden.
You can follow me at the Adam Hayden.
Same thing on Instagram for both of us.
Yep.
Adam, why don't you take us out?
All right, guys. You think you've had a good pod today? You think you've listened and enjoyed, and you think you've had enough? Well, you haven't had enough yet. Not yet, baby, because I still got one more word for you. Love. You take that love, you spread that love, you feel that love. Have a good day, y'all.